There's no time to get him off
Ya no hay tiempo de bajarlo
before sunrise,
antes del amanecer.
and the land is cursed.
Y la Eretz, la tierra es maldita.
You had some comments. I see some
¿Tienen comentarios?
comments here.
In reference to that scripture,
En referencia a esa escritura,
Deuteronomy 21:23.
Deuteronomio 21:23,
In traditional Judaism today,
en el judaísmo tradicional de estos tiempos,
most traditional Jews completely disobey that scripture.
la mayor parte de los judíos completamente desobedecen esta
Because
escritura.
the rule in traditional Judaism today
Porque la regla en el judaísmo tradicional en estos tiempos
is that the body needs to be in the ground
es que el cuerpo tiene que estar dentro de la Eretz, la tierra,
within 24 hours.
dentro de 24 sha'ot, horas.
And the scriptures clearly says
Y las escrituras claramente dicen
that the body needs to be in the ground the same day.
que ese cuerpo tiene que estar en la Eretz ese mismo yom.
Excellent. And Orthodox Judaism says what? 3 days
No, 24 hours.
or 24 hours?
Yeah, 2 days.
But that would encompass 2 days, no?
How?
24 hours.
En el judaísmo
So what is your
tradicional se habla de
hold it.
24
24
horas.
hours
only
by
make-
modern Roman time.
Okay, I can only make one point at a no. Put your hand down. We can only do one point at a time. I'm not that smart. So let me clarify what Rivka
Entonces
was.
voy a clarificar lo que está diciendo la rabina
Let me
Rivka.
clarify what Rivka was saying. So what will you help understand what you were saying? Say it again.
Déjeme entender lo que está usted diciendo.
One day,
Un yom,
according to scripture,
de acuerdo a la
is
escritura,
strictly
es
today,
estrictamente hoy,
right?
¿cierto?
Okay. The rabbis
Los rabinos
have decided
han
that
decidido
one day is 24 hours.
que un yom es 24 horas.
So if someone dies
Entonces si alguien
this
muere
afternoon,
esta tarde,
they have until tomorrow afternoon to put them in the ground.
tienen hasta mañana para meterlos en la Eretz.
That's it. Except on Erev
But
Shabbat.
that's a
Excepto el
violation of the Torah.
That's what I just
Pero esa es
said.
una violación de la Torah.
They're violating the
Because
Torah.
they have to be down. They have to be buried by when?
Porque tienen que ser sepultados para cuándo?
This night.
Esta
That's right.
Laila.
Yeah. So I understood you correctly. Yeah.
Actually, that's a different topic because that's a normal death, but this is a death by hanging. So I'm not certain if that's true for a normal death, either by disease or another type of death.
I think it would still be the same because the concept of a day is different in scripture that we're now learning than it is according to Roman time.
Right, but
In Roman
sometimes
time, one day is 24 hours. In scriptural time, a day is 12 hours. Makes a big
So
difference.
that's part of the reason for the. No, but Avia makes an interesting point, which is this is talking about a cursed man hung in
he's
shame,
definitely
a
dead.
criminal.
But there you could have the
But then
situation
the question is, does someone dying from natural causes,
or another
Well-
type of death.
yes, are they treated in the same way? That's the question.
The thing is that if it's another type of situation,
And didn't,
you have
excuse me, I'm sorry. And didn't Yeshua allow Lazarus, to remain dead for, what was it? 4 days? They
Yes,
said,
because-
Master, and he smelled so bad that
He was already buried.
yeah, but he smelled so bad that he caused Miriam.
no, they
and-
thought he smelled bad.
Yeah, but he probably did, Miriam and Martha, to speak King James. I mean, that's the first time that we have Israelites speaking King James. He stinketh.
No,
So, I
but
mean, that dude must have smelled
But he was
really
already-
bad.
That's irrelevant because he was already buried.
yes, he
in the
was
tomb.
buried. That was a different circumstance. But then you have the
But
circumstance.
no, but here's the question. When did they bury him? In other words, Yeshua didn't raise him until the 4th day.
Right.
But when did they bury him? That's the question. Do they bury him the same night before, the same day, meaning before the next sunrise? We don't know that. See, well,
You have to think about the circumstances because I've heard of a lot of situations where you have a person that is dead or died, but then they somehow resuscitate or are in a coma. And I don't know, I don't recall what the Torah says with respect to that. So you have to give that body time to really be.
listen. This is
somebody who's not
That's a
very
different.
This is difficult enough to
That's a different
try to work with
subject.
you guys. You're so on fire and excited and you want to share. I can't worry about resuscitutu and resuscitata. I don't go there right now, please. Let's just stick with the sunrising and the sunsetting.
Estamos hablando de que
Don't go to resuscituta.
este tipo
You get all over the place.
de muerte es
Focus.
especial y específica a una persona que fue colgada en un madero, por eso se tiene que sepultar esa misma tarde. Pero si tenemos otro tipo de muerte en otras circunstancias, la Torah quizás esté diciendo otra cosa con respecto a sepultar a la persona, porque como sabemos hay diferentes casos donde hemos sabido de personas que después de muertos son revividos o quizás están en un tipo de coma y se despiertan de lo que aparentemente es una muerte.
Okay, look, I have a lot to cover.
Pero eso es otro
We
tema.
really got to get back to the scripture.
But
Tenemos mucho que
We
cubrir.
have a lot to cover.
In speaking about a person who's definitely dead,
Y hablando de una persona que está definitivamente
my
muerta,
understanding of that scripture,
mi entendimiento
is
de esa
that
escritura
if the person is hung on a tree,
es que si la persona es colgada en un
it's a
madero,
punishment.
es un
Therefore, the temptation would be
castigo.
to leave the person on the tree for a long
Y
time.
por eso la tentación es dejar a la persona por mucho tiempo
To overly punish.
para
Or to take out
castigar
vengeance.
o tomar un tipo de venganza.
Correct. So if the scripture says that the person needs to be taken down that same
Entonces, si
day,
la escritura dice que esa persona tiene que ser bajada ese mismo yom,
To avoid that.
it's to
Avoid
give the person
vengeance.
a normal burial just like anybody
para
else would
darle a la
have.
persona una
Even though-
sepultura normal como a cualquier otra,
Even though they're a criminal, to avoid human vengeance.
a pesar de que son criminales para evitar la venganza humana.
But someone who dies naturally would they would be buried what, 1 day, 2
The
days?
same
We
day.
need to check.
We're not
I
sure.
would say the same day because they're
Everybody's
telling,
equal.
Yahweh was admonishing the people to take the person down off the tree the same day.
Okay. Cool.
Also, with respect to what Rebetz and Rivka is saying, that shows Yahweh's rachamim, that there's a certain limit in punishment. You don't overextend, your anger to another yom, and that's why it also says don't let the shemesh go down on your anger.
And
Igual, no extender el enojo de esa venganza a otro yom, y ahí enseñan la compasión de Yahweh al bajar a un cadáver, un muerto de un árbol ese mismo yom y darle su sepultura.
and like the word says, vengeance is mine, saith Yahuwah.
Y como dice la palabra, la venganza es mía, dice
I will
Yahweh.
repay.
Yo pagaré.
Okay, girls, I'm asking you not to interrupt me for about
Les
9.3
pido que no me
9.3
interrumpan
minutes,
por
okay?
unos 9.3
So
minutos.
please, a penny for your thoughts. I was giving you $1
Un
now.
centavo por sus pensamientos.
Now I'm giving you a penny.
Les estaba dando $1, pero ya les voy a dar un penny.
Okay.
Un
To
centavo.
give you incentive not to interrupt. Go ahead.
Para
Translate.
darles incentivo a que no me interrumpan.
No, I want interruption, but too many and I lose focus.
Quiero que me interrumpan, pero no demasiado.
Now, go
Para
back.
no perder mi enfoque.
Go back to Yochanan Moshe 15:42.
Regresemos a Yohanan Moshe, a Marcos 15:42.
Evening had come,
La tarde había llegado,
the day before Shabbat,
el yom antes del Shabbat,
not the start of the Shabbat,
no para el
and
comienzo del
Yeshua
Shabbat.
was still hanging.
Y Yeshua seguía colgado.
He was still hanging.
Seguía colgado.
I said he was still
Dije
hanging.
que seguía colgado.
If the day starts at
Si
sundown,
el yom comienza a la puesta del sol,
we have a Torah
tenemos
violation.
ahí una violación de Torah.
Yeshua should have been buried,
Yeshua tenía que haber sido sepultado.
according to Deuteronomy 21:21,
De acuerdo a Deuteronomio 21:21,
that day.
ese mismo yom.
But evening had come.
Pero la tarde ya había llegado.
Sundown had
El
come.
Shemesh ya se había puesto.
And Yeshua is still on the
Y
tree.
Yeshua seguía en el árbol.
That couldn't be.
Eso no podía haber sido.
Because Yahuwah would have violated his own Torah.
Porque Yahweh hubiera violado su propia Torah.
Are you with me?
¿Están conmigo?
His own Torah says
Su propia Torah dice
that the body
que el cuerpo
cannot be all night,
no puede estar ahí toda la laila,
meaning to the next day.
queriendo decir al próximo yom.
If evening started at sundown,
Si la tarde comienza a la puesta del Shemesh,
according to Mark
de
15:42,
acuerdo a Marcos 15:42,
and sundown
y la puesta del sol
was the next day,
es del próximo yom,
Yeshua was still hanging.
Yeshua seguía colgado
That day,
ese ese yom
And the next
y
day,
el próximo yom,
instead of him removing sin from the land,
en lugar de quitar el pecado de la tierra,
as the Messiah who messed up on Torah,
así como el Mesías que hizo error en la Torah,
he would have brought cursing on the